All right. Mic check. 1, 2. Can you guys hear me?
We can.
Awesome.
Loud and clear.
Awesome. Fantastic. All right, let's get this started. Excited for this one. Before we get into it, thanks everyone for joining. I think we're still missing one person, but I'm sure they're going to show up any minute. But yeah, let's get into it. First and foremost, welcome to our space. Appreciate you all for stopping by and popping in. Huge shout out to each one of you guys, also to all the people listening. Yeah, I want to kick it off by, first of all, introducing everyone. We got some fantastic projects and speakers here on the panel, so I want to make sure to cover all of them, make sure that everyone who's listening in now or will be listening in the recording is familiar with who we have on our stage today. So let me start it off with Flagship. Flagship, the Telegram app facilitating access to portfolios led by curated crypto experts. You can earn points, meet fellow investors, and access all of their experts all through Telegram. Flagship, excited to have you guys here. Thanks so much for joining. We also have Taraxa. I hope I pronounced that correctly. Taraxa is an EVM compatible smart contract platform based on T-Graph consensus utilizing block DAG with many world first technical innovations. Taraxa is empowering builders and developers, attracting them with their unique selling proposition, like being fast, low cost, and green. Yeah, I think we'll need some elaboration on some of those things in a minute. But moving on to our third guest, Slingshot, which is actually the one who's not here yet, joining us in a minute. A DAO with a clear mission, bringing their user base of over 2.5 million to Arbitrum, empowering and supporting gamers by giving them access and ownership over community-generated games. Very interesting. Definitely excited to have a conversation there. Kevin Unai from RWA.Inc. I hope I pronounced your name correctly. Sorry, I didn't mean to butcher it.
Yeah, it's perfect.
RWA. Okay, awesome. RWA.Inc. Is empowering global investment opportunities for everyone via their RWA token, their real-world asset utility token. Very excited to have you guys here. And we also have XP Network, your multi-chain NFT bridge supporting a seamless transfer of NFTs to over 30 chains without any barriers. What an awesome panel. Appreciate it, guys. Thanks for stopping by. And of course, last but not least, we have our host, Tina. Tina, I think is in the audience. But we have our host account certainly here to my right. Crush AI, the smart AI agent protocol incubated by the NVIDIA Inception program. Crush AI is a next generation LLM powered companion enabled by AI agents to help users with everything crypto. Leveraging large language models and deep AI, Crush helps users research, summarize alpha, trade, and even engage with decentralized applications and on-chain games, all in one place through direct chat. Super panel, really excited for this conversation. And just before we get started, one more time, huge shout out to all of the speakers who are joining us here today, and an even bigger shout out to all of the guests tuning in for today's topic, which is building the next generation of Telegram super apps. So if you're tuning in, make sure to give all of our panelists a follow. And if you're in the audience and have any questions, make sure to drop them in the comment section of our space. I'll definitely be keeping an eye on those just in case there's any questions that we can cover here as we go through the conversations. And yeah, if we find some time towards the end, Also happy to pull up some of the audience members here onto the stage in case they want to contribute to the conversation. But yeah, got that covered. Let's get right into it. So over the past couple months, we've seen more and more Telegram apps popping up. The Tom narrative is becoming predominant across the space. Telegram is supporting the Ton ecosystem, the Ton network, and Ton native apps are attracting millions upon millions of users. I want to keep the space, at least for the first segment, a little bit on the broader side. And I was actually thinking about this recently, and would love to get all of your thoughts on this. But in the state of Telegram apps, in their current state, where do you guys see their main USP, their main unique selling proposition, the core value to the community, to us as users? Would love to get everyone's input on that. Feel free to just kind of, I guess, raise your hand or just unmute yourself, depending on how crazy this is gonna get. But yeah, would love to hear you guys' thoughts on this topic. But yeah, I already saw Flagship kind of putting their hands up, so gonna pass it over right to you guys.
All right. First of all, thanks for hosting this. Really, really interesting. I always love to talk about Telegram super apps and mini apps. I think it's an interesting question because for builders, it's pretty obvious, right? It's the scale of almost 1 billion users. But for the community itself, what I find, for example, when you look at Base or when you look at Solana, what I find quite frustrating in a way is that it's really, really hard to navigate yourself to the ecosystem. So you have to hop from app to app and from website to website, depends on which device you're on. Usually it's not mobile but desktop. And what I'm finding out with Telegram is they recently launched their own app store. They launched a browser, which is all going to be available or already available within the Telegram app. And of course, they have the messaging functionality. So what you can do, and they have these community features of chats as well. So what you can very neatly do is you can organize the ecosystem. So you can use Telegram as a gateway to the ecosystem itself. You can organize mini apps for the ecosystem via these channels, integrate them together. And to the App Store, you can actually find apps based on, for example, the vertical they're in. So I think it's a very neat way to get everything in one place instead of having it all scattered over multiple web pages, multiple apps. I think that's for the community itself. I think that's one of the core value props.
100%. I definitely agree with you. I'm also curious, like, are you using any Telegram app actively, like on a daily basis?
Yeah, I'm super biased, but yeah, I'm using our own. I really enjoy the game. For the rest, I gotta say, like I'm farming some mini apps, and of course, because we're building, I'm using a lot of these mini apps just to test them out and try them out. Big fan of Catizens. I was really early with that one, so I've been farming and upgrading my cats. But I do have to admit that so far it's still very early, right? So now you have the low hanging fruit of mini apps. But you can see where it's heading. But right now, yeah, it's just very early. How about you?
100%.
Which ones are you using?
I think I'm also using a couple, but I think we'll get kind of deeper into that. I just want to make sure that we also hear everyone out just before we kind of dig deeper. But I see Taraxa already raising their hands. So yeah, feel free to take it away.
Thank you, Yas. And first of all, thank you for inviting me to this AMA. So really appreciate it. And love to have heard from Flagship. We're actually a layer one, and I won't go into too much details about our block DAC technology, but we have also in parallel been building a social AI platform. Actually, is exclusively plugged into Telegram. So we started building it in 2020 because we were running into a lot of problems not having access to social data and limiting our ability to run automated social bounties, for example. But we currently have this platform called Echo that's plugged into over 20,000 English speaking crypto Telegram groups, public crypto Telegram groups, and it's pulling in over 1 million messages every single day. It has a fine-tuned model to kind of filter out all the spam and spammers. As everyone knows, there are tons of those going around, and there are very interesting applications that are already live right now. There's one that uses the social conversations, understands the social conversations, and it uses those as trading signals to actually conduct trades real time. So there's a few trading bots built on that that's trading on centralized exchanges as well as decentralized exchanges. There's another one that conducts automated social bounty. So you can post a bounty, say I want X, whoever to talk about what, and they'll get a reward. And the system automatically monitors all the conversations and understands who is talking about the topic that you actually want to hype up. And if they associate the Telegram account with a wallet, they automatically get rewarded based on the calculated contribution and impact they've made actually within the group. So I think we are not actually haven't started making Telegram apps, but I think the real power, right? Obviously, in Telegram, like Flagship talked about, is that with the 1 billion users, they're generating a tremendous amount of data. And social data is something that I think AI doesn't really understand yet. Even today, you're welcome to do that. Go into ChatGPT and ask them, like, pretend you're a Twitter user, pretend you're a Telegram user, and write something. And immediately, right off the bat, anybody would know that was not written by a person. So it doesn't understand social data. That means that there's this huge opportunity here to create native social data trained models that can do a lot of things. I mean, the examples I gave, we have live apps that do automated trading, automated bounties. We have one that coming up that actually does real time, do your own research summaries of any topic you can think of. Right? What does the community think about Bitcoin in the past week? What does the community think about the AI narrative in the past week? Like it gives you real time summaries. Everyone says do your own research in crypto. It's really hard to do your own research, right? You don't know who's talking about what. But organic social chatter is probably the most authentic source of truth within crypto. So this is a hugely untapped opportunity. There's so much social data out there that is not being funneled into AI. I mean, I think the OpenAI had the partnership with Reddit, right? So obviously these people are noticing the potential here. But where's that play for Telegram, right? So I think there's just tremendous opportunities to create automated AI agents that do a lot of fantastic things that just weren't possible before. So love to hear what everyone else thinks. Yeah, thanks.
100%, and I totally agree with that. I appreciate you sharing that. Also interesting to see like how predominant that whole ecosystem is for you guys as a layer one. I think there definitely needs to be more to it than just being, like somewhat of a semi-hype narrative within the Web3 industry to actually get this much attention and also get the attention actually of builders, right? Because that is really, I think, where the power lies, because without actively contributing builders who are actually putting in thoughts and effort into how these things can be leveraged for consumers, there can't really be any significant progression in these individual narratives or ecosystems within the Web3 space, right? So definitely super interesting to hear your thoughts, but I also love to bring it over to Kevin from RWA.inc. Also, maybe a little bit of a unique question to you, because RWA obviously is its own sector, its own narrative within the Web3 space. What are your thoughts and your touch points when it comes to Telegram and its apps?
So, indeed, RWA is a narrative right now that is very, very hot, as you all can see. And in regards to Telegram, we see very much effectiveness by really engaging in the Telegram groups and even creating apps like click competitions and other instruments we have seen a tremendous growth in user engagement over the last 6 months, since Notcoin, I think, was the first disruptor who really understood how to use Telegram not only as a communications tool but also as an engagement tool for uh, earning points and coins by clicking and doing other engagement stuff. So so I really think that Telegram has shown that they are the market leader here in this new, I would call it, disruption of the current engagements with the users. So I think there will be a need to really look into that also from our side. And I think we have only seen the top of the iceberg for what that company is going to offer of services to drive adoption and volumes into our industry.
Are you actually using any apps? Just out of curiosity, is it at a stage where you're like, okay, this is something that actually benefits me, or are you also just like kind of eyeing some of these like tap apps or mini games? What is your current position on that?
We are all in actually onboarding very strong partners also within Telegram apps. If somebody here are good at it, please reach out. We think it's an important launch tool, if you may say, for us to really engage with the app developers and really find out how can we utilize Telegram as one of the leading platforms for doing our own uh, earn click to earn apps and other types of apps. So that's really our mantra, that we want to partner with the best of the best within each discipline, and that might drive innovation and disruption. Um, so that's why we are engaging with gaming companies. We're engaging with app developers and Telegram app developers to really find out how can we develop something that could move this forward.
I definitely invite you to check out our mini app, because over time we're super interested in integrating real world assets. So in our portfolios we can integrate them. So it's not a tap mini app. It's pretty close to our end product. So yeah, if you like it, just reach out, and then we can.
Let's do something. Let's do something together.
Yeah, I was thinking the same.
Sure.
Like
That's why we're here, to connect and inspire each other and find out how can we work together and create great stuff. So definitely open to that. Thank you so much.
Nice. I'll send I'll send a link in DMs.
Please do.
And mission complete. That is literally what these spaces are for. This is actually a fantastic moment to capture here on this recorded Twitter space, by the way. And really quick before we move on, I saw a bunch of new people in the audience. If you have not followed all of our speakers on the stage yet, make sure to do so. Stay up to date with all of them, definitely to be recommended. And if there's any questions, the comment section is there. I'll be keeping an eye on that as well. And I love where this is going. I saw that, or I noticed that pretty much all of us mentioned these farming mini apps, the tap apps, these mini games in one context or another within the conversation. What do you guys think in terms of usefulness of this? Because the way I'm looking at it, the retention of users obviously just as crucial as acquisition. Earlier this year, we saw a huge hype around social farming on Twitter, which was firstly, I guess, led by Portal, where we had all of our timelines spammed by people spamming the Portal ticker. That kind of, I guess, moved over to this new, I guess, social. Well, it was at first actually in the middle stage. It was like social platforms where people were driving users onto their websites and stuff to complete certain social tasks. And now it seems like all of that is kind of migrating over to Telegram. But the way I'm looking at it is like, obviously retention being just as crucial as user acquisition. It's an interesting thought to see how this is actually going to develop over the next couple of months. How are successful projects actually keeping their users engaged over time, especially after having done whatever kind of promises they're throwing out there to engage their users, right? I think that obviously a lot of mini apps are doing some sort of incentive-driven farming, like we're seeing with Banana actually recently. The Banana app, I'm not sure if you guys saw that, but absolutely insane what they've done. I think after their launch, like within the first maybe 2 or 3 weeks, already onboarded over 2.5 million users. I think that's the app launched by Carve, if you guys are familiar with that. But absolutely crazy numbers that are happening here. And what I guess to get back to the question and for me to end my rant, how do you guys think are all of us or everyone kind of contributing or building within this ecosystem going to keep our users engaged over the long term? And what role do sort of gamification, rewards, community building, and all of these things play into that?
Interesting question, because I had a discussion with someone not too long ago, and a lot of these because it's actually a natural phenomenon that basically the faster you grow, the faster you tend to decline. It happens in nature, it happens in business, it happens in investing, it happens in a lot of things. And I think it also could be the case with a lot of tap apps, if because yes, there's a lot of users, but what you prove is that there's product market fit for potential free money. And you don't actually prove product market fit for the end product. So that's also why we have chosen a little bit harder path to stay close to our final product. It doesn't lead to hyperbolic growth initially, although we do see pretty solid growth numbers. But the idea has always been, okay, how can we use this mini app and this gamification and point system to test out our final product and to get user data? What do they prefer? How do they use it? What do they actually? What portfolios are they interested in? And I think like that's it will lead to slower growth. And my concern would be a little bit with a lot of tap apps that what happens after the airdrop? Can you still engage, and can you still keep all these millions of users engaged when you've already airdropped 60, 70, 80% of your supply? And I think Notcoin does an excellent job. I think they just released a mini app. My co-founder is also listening, is a big fan of what they're building. And I think they have deflationary tokenomics. I think they were the first movers. So I think they have a really solid chance. But everything that comes after that, I think it becomes harder and harder to keep all these users around. So it has to come from the mini app, and I think games will be part of it. I think Cadison also has been keeping their user base very engaged for the time. But yeah, I think just don't divert too far from your final product and actually provide value for your users. And yeah, just keep in mind as a mini app that most, like, don't try to just prove that there's product market fit for free money, because that's kind of obvious.
Yeah, I already see. I have a follow-up question for you as well, but I already see Taraxa putting up their hand. So if you just take it away.
Oh, well, thanks. I didn't mean to cut you off there. Yeah, so I think we're probably, again, coming in with a little bit of a different perspective here where, we started out obviously as a layer one. We built these other platforms on the side. So we're much more catered to other developers, right? So it's more of a B2B business rather than a B2C business. So I think most of our products and actually applications that are built on top of our products, we cater to either other developers or other platforms. So and when you're doing a B2B business, it's less about sentiment and more about performance, right? Are you delivering on the value propositions? Are you reducing costs? Are you increasing revenue? What are you doing? with one of the products that one of the DApps I've been building on top, TrendSpotter, I talked about it. It's an automated trading based on social signals. They're plugging into a lot of these investment platforms. They're plugging into a lot of Telegram bots. So I'd love to talk to you later about the flagship. See if we can work something out there. But yeah, I mean, it's just providing automated trading options and automated signals that the users can either choose to trade on their own, or they can just click a button and it just automatically trades for them. So obviously, it's very easy to figure out whether or not it's working. Are you making money, right? So if you're making money and the returns that are produced by these trading algorithms are good, then you get more users, right? On our side, we get to sign up more partners, right? So I think that's a pretty pretty clear cut metric for one of these apps. Another app, for example, the auto summarization applications. We're talking to a lot of research oriented websites and asset aggregators, right? So people like CoinGecko, people like Masari. I think they're all very interested in a product like this because it adds a hitherto non-existent source of information, which is real-time social, not just sentiment, but what are people talking about, right? Automatically summarized topics that people are talking about, concerned about, happy about, regards to any topic in crypto, right? So if you're visiting a page, on a research report talking about an AI narrative, or talking about specific assets, you could have a specific section on there that says what are people talking about right now, right, in social across 20,000 Telegram groups, right? So that's again that doesn't exist. So these research websites, I'm sure they all track their traffic, right? How long are people lingering on which parts of the website? So again, it's about delivering value, right? Delivering value to the end users so that the metric shows up and looks good, then we keep on working with them. So yeah, so we're very a results oriented platform here, and we love to work with other platforms that are more consumer facing or user facing to help you enhance your product offering and your value proposition to your users. So yeah, love to have a chat with anybody who might be interested in that, supercharging your platform and your offerings with social data. Yeah.
We're definitely interested. My co-founder was already texting me that we might actually could be valuable for each other. So yeah, I just reach out to us via DMs.
Awesome. Yeah, let's talk.
I'll just create all of us on Telegram. How does that sound? You could all just connect through there.
Sounds awesome.
Probably the easiest way. That's fantastic. But yeah, I want to circle back real quick. Unless Kevin, you want to chime in here real quick. Otherwise,
let's go to the next great subject. I mean, I think we covered pretty much the first one. So let's see what you want to know.
Yeah, I wanted actually to get into my follow-up question for Flagship, because you pointed out that you guys are not taking that approach of I guess parabolic growth, focusing more on like slow and steady and actual product-focused approach, where you're not really teasing with, like, let's say any huge rewards or something along those lines to get those millions of users right from the get-go. What is your strategy that you're kind of I guess applying here to your go-to-market? What are you thinking? What are your thoughts on user acquisition? And what is your approach? What have you seen to work best on that side?
So in terms of go-to-market strategy, there are some basic things we really feel is important, like, of course, communication with the community, being constantly updating the community about what's going on, so the waiting time until listing day is bearable. Because as you all know, launching a crypto project is an immense task, and it involves both product development, marketing, PR, and many other big areas. So we really believe that communicating with the community making weekly and monthly updates are crucial for everybody to be aligned on what's going to happen. We also, of course, like we discussed, see a very big interest in not falling behind on some of the new disruption and technologies, like we talked about the Telegram apps and other types of apps. We are engaging with Cookie3, we're engaging with DAOmaker and many more amazing companies who are experts in growth hacking and analyzing data, utilizing data, and that is something I personally love doing. I'm data driven, we're data driven, and data speaks for itself always, and you can really make a lot of great conclusions when you start analyzing the data and you start testing and making iterations upon your results. So that's something we highly recommend everybody to do, and also utilize in your guys' work, these great companies I mentioned. Yeah, I don't know if that answered some of the parts of the questions, but let me know if you need to have something cleared.
Oh, 100% did. 100% did. I'd also love to toss this over to Flagship to kind of hear what they have to say about this. And then we'll also dig deeper into the data side of things, because I think that's also super interesting. And Taraxa already kind of pointed that out, but I'd be interested to hearing also more on that. But Flagship, if you just take it away.
Well, for us, I think that the go-to-market strategy with Telegram is pretty clear. There is a playbook. It's launch a mini app, attract as many users through referrals as possible. Obviously, we would also love to have millions of users, and that is what we're aiming for. But I think what is really important and what we focus on is to have the conversion from people that participate in the points program to people that actually get rewarded for that, potentially with a token, to have that conversion, that people become genuine token holders, and then from there have the conversion to the token holders becoming genuine product users. The higher you can optimize those conversion rates ratios, the better you perform, I think. Because if you end up with 100 million users, but 0.01% of it ends up using your product, you've done, and your token economy does very well. You still end up having spent a huge amount of money on actually acquisition that isn't obvious from the start. So I think it's optimizing those conversion ratios, which is really, really important when it comes, because the scale is there, the enthusiasm is there, the users are there. It's all there on Telegram. That's pretty much proven now. It's I think it's optimizing for those conversion ratios.
I think also another aspect to keep in mind when it comes to user acquisition on Telegram is that even though a lot of Web3 natives use Telegram, it is still mainly used by non-Web3 users, right? So I've seen a couple of projects talk about the potential of scaling their apps to hundreds of millions of users, and if we look at the Telegram user base, I mean, it's reaching over 900 million monthly active users, right? So it's actually a huge potential there. But coming back to the point, most of those are not actually Web3 native. So something that I haven't really seen a whole lot is like the conversation of, okay, how can we actually get those people interested in what we are building, right? What can we do to bring those people into these ecosystems? And how can we brand our products in a way, which is, again, like a totally different topic, but the aspect of branding and communication and layout of these Telegram apps to actually appeal to those people and solving not only for, I guess, Web3 native problems, quote unquote, but also just regular things that any normal consumer would need, right? So I think that also kind of is an interesting point to combine with the previous one on data, because if there was a way, or actually, before I get into that, I'll toss it back over to Taraxa, because you brought up data. What is the first thing that comes to mind for you when it comes to Telegram and data? Where do you see the biggest leverage of using and utilizing data, or what would be the first things that you would want to know when it comes to that?
Yeah, so we think that social data is incredibly powerful, right? A lot of it is actually solving problems that we as a layer one project face every single day. So the first problem that we were looking at, the original problem we were looking at was this idea of social bounties, right? So whenever a project runs a bounty on social networks in crypto, roughly 95 to 99% of the participants tend to be bots, variations of bots, or people who have nothing better to do other than farm strange airdrops, right? So you have two options, right? One option is basically to accept it and give all your money to bots. The other one was really to hire a large team of people and meticulously try to filter through every single submission to ensure that they're not a bot. And this was ridiculous because everyone was doing this. We were asking tons of different projects, and everyone was doing this. So the very first thing that we thought would be very interesting, if you had access to real-time data in Telegram, for example, is that you could actually conduct pattern analysis to figure out who is a bot and who isn't a bot, right? There are very specific patterns that our algorithms look for. There are very specific patterns that they're trained on, and they're very, very accurate. And they do it through an extremely efficient algorithm. It has to be really fast to churn through, hundreds of millions of messages. And that, I think, again, is the power of having a large data set, because you're able to actually start identifying patterns very, very, very quickly. And while we were building that, someone else noticed that also very interesting is that Telegram data, unlike data from other sources that traders usually rely on, on-chain data, exchange data, or even Twitter trends, right? So what's very, very different about Telegram data is it's an incredibly leading indicator, right? It leads all the other signals. So as an example, we're doing a ton of backtesting, and one example really jumped out, and there are like 20, 30 examples like this. So last year, everyone remembered Pepe, right? It just sort of came out of nowhere, and became one of the largest, not just meme coin, one of the largest coins, period. So our algorithm that's built into Transponder was actually able to detect Pepe as a word of interest 3 weeks before the price went parabolic, 1 week before the smart contract was even deployed on Ethereum. So before the coin even existed, the algorithm picked out this word called Pepe that you should be very interested in. We don't know what it is, but you should look into it. And the beauty, again, of social data is that you can actually trace back all the results out of these algorithms and models back to their source data. You can literally click through and go back to the conversations if you're not convinced or you need more context on what people are talking about. But there was no question from the algorithm and from just looking at the raw data as a human that this word Pepe there's something about it, right? So imagine if you're watching this a week before the smart contract was even deployed. This is hugely consequential, I think. Organic conversations are just leading indicators for all kinds of trends. Right? We have a saying here is that by the time it's trending on Twitter, it's too late. It's too late already. There are a lot of investors and venture capitalists that complain to us that one of their major pain points was that every morning they get up, they open like 30 Telegram groups, they're watching like 50 Twitter accounts, and they do that for a few hours every single day, and they don't feel like they're doing a very good job, right? Because obviously the human capacity for absorption and understanding of data is highly limited. So this kind of tool actually gives you this just very compelling way to actually figure out what exactly is happening and to be able to identify trends before they become trending, right? So this is another very interesting characteristic of social data. I think there are a few other kind of ongoing research issues that we also have been very interested in. Everyone has worked with influencers. Are they real? What is influence? How do you quantify influence? I think that's another ongoing research question that we've been looking at. We think there are different algorithmic approaches as well. We're also training a few models right now to figure out whether or not you can actually quantify influence by looking at whether or not when someone is speaking, they're actually meaningfully, which means beyond statistical variability, shifting the topic of conversation of subsequent conversations, for people who spoke after them within a specific Telegram group, right? So this is a mixture of topic modeling, and just statistical modeling. So it's a little bit inefficient right now, but we think that this could be a way for us to actually identify who the true influencers are and actually able to quantify their influence. Basically, how effective are you at changing the topic of conversation? How effective are you at changing opinions in real time, right? That's what an influencer is. So hopefully we can get that out sooner rather than later. But it's something that I think the entire this goes beyond crypto, right? This is everyone's wondering whether or not the influencer you just hired are they real, right? Do they have actual influence? How influential are they, right? So this again, like I said, I'm actually astounded, right? And we're in the layer one business, but because of all the problems that we were running into while running a layer one ecosystem, we were absolutely astounded just how untapped social data is. Not just in Web 2, not just in Web 3, but just like in general, right? People don't really spend the time to analyze social data. And I think, again, here I want to do a plug, obviously, for Telegram. We're all Telegram fans here. Telegram is an incredibly open platform, right? Most social networks are walled gardens, right? Try to get some data from Twitter. You can't get the API. It's extremely expensive, extraordinarily expensive to get that data. Telegram is an open book, right? It took us a while to figure it out. It was completely non-trivial to build a decentralized data ingestion network that ingests the data from Telegram. But it's still very much an open network. Again, this proves the point over and over again that open networks, open innovation really trumps closed systems, proprietary systems, garden walls, wall garden ecosystems every single time, right? Open innovation is the key here. So Telegram, I think, is incredible in that really incredible in that respect. And that data literally is out there for anyone to tap. Just no one. We searched for months and months to find a platform that offered this kind of data set. Nobody offered it. We would not have gone out to build this if someone else did it. it's kind of ridiculous that that it doesn't exist, but it exists right now. So again, if you guys want to check out, get access to all this Telegram data, let us know. It's all accessible through smart contracts on the Taraxa network. Just call it, you get whatever data you want. And the data stored on IPFS, everything's decentralized. So hopefully this can add a lot more value, create a lot more value to the wider ecosystem, not just even in crypto, but even beyond crypto. Yeah, social data is such an untapped resource. It's unbelievable. Yeah.
I just have to say, I'm so intrigued by everything you just said.
Well, let's talk some more. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
I love
Like
that.
yeah, it's just like I knew that it was open, but the level of depth and indeed what you can measure influence and impact directly on there, and you can basically listen in to a billion people chattering. That's incredibly powerful.
I'm sad that there is no emoji that's like mind blown for or within the Twitter space UI. Because I was all sitting here like, the fuck, is he for real? Like that's actually insane. I really appreciate you sharing that also. And I think pretty self-explanatory that that is more than valuable and more than interesting. So you can definitely expect not only Flagship but also me to be reaching out and discussing that in more detail for sure. Because, like you said, I think those are I guess stretching the capabilities of what is possible with that data is where things really start to become interesting. And it takes people like yourself, to actually go out of their way and build something that allows other people to access these kinds of data sets and stuff. So huge shout out to you guys. I also saw a couple of new faces here in the audience. So if you just tuned in, guys, this panel is absolutely insane. If you've missed the first half or first part of the space, definitely make sure to also listen into the recording afterwards, because there was a lot of value shared here today. And if you've not followed all of our panelists yet, make sure to do so. If you have questions, make sure to drop them in the comments section. But yeah, Kevin, we haven't heard from you for a minute. So yeah, we'd be keen to know what your thoughts are on data, maybe also in respect to RWA and what's going on in your world.
Yeah, so as explained earlier, we see data as oil, and the most important ingredients in our whole operations, actually. So we are extremely keen on, of course, registering all data, all leads, the entire ecosystem. We put a lot of effort in streamlining the databases and making sure that we can reach each of our players in the ecosystem with tailored branded material. So because we value communication and transparency a lot. So that's really why we are very, very focused in doing everything we can to have a very clean and organized data. We also measure everything in terms of KPIs. So we have our own KPI systems that measure, I think it's 484 different KPIs, everything from social media matrix, conversion rates, click rates, engagement, sentiment, everything like that. So you can really really make very, very detailed and advanced conclusions once you start analyzing data. And therefore data is, as we said, the oil of our company.
Hugely important. So I appreciate you also underlining that. And also want to circle back to the one of the points that that Taraxa mentioned in terms of influencers and what real influence even is, because I know that there are some tools that exist to also check for, I guess, the quality, quote unquote, of job at evaluating these scores. And I think that this is kind of exactly what we need to also move away from, I guess, the botted nature of not only, I guess, opinion leaders or influence, whatever you want to call it, within the industry, but also, like you mentioned, the social campaigns, bounties, reward systems that are being flooded with bots all across the industry. So definitely a huge problem there to be solved. So if there's someone out there who's like, hell yeah, this is for me, I can solve this. I mean, this is honestly the time to do it. But yeah, I think as we're kind of approaching the 1 hour mark, I would love to just pass it over to you guys for a couple minutes in case there's something that you want to share, something that you wanted to point out just before we wrap it up. If there's something that is just about to launch on your end that you want to share with the audience, please make sure to do so. And yeah, please, Flagship, feel free to take it away and spearhead it.
Yeah, absolutely. So it's actually during this call we transitioned from season 1 to season 2 of the game. So we're introducing a couple of new really cool features today, and season 2 is about to go live. So right now, if you enter the mini app, it's in maintenance mode, but in an hour or so, it's gonna go open again, and everybody starts with 0. So everybody that participated in season 1, all their points are registered permanently, but everybody starts on 0. Um, and it's game on for who can rank the highest with season 2. So definitely come check out our mini app once it's live in a couple of hours. And from there on, in the mini app, you will see our product progress gradually towards our final product. So it's an evolution. That's how we planned it. And yeah, just be in the mini app, and you will be updated on all things flagship, and you will see our product evolve towards becoming the investment platform via Telegram for all your crypto investments.
I'll definitely be checking it out. Taraxa, what about you guys?
Yeah. So again, thanks for inviting me to this panel. It's great speakers, great panel. We at Taraxa, we're layer 1, but we provide a large suite of social AI services, right? So plugging into over 20,000 Telegram groups, over a million messages every single day. We have automated fine-tuned models that automatically filter out spam and spammers. We have apps that actually provide trading signals based on social, automated social bounties, automated summarization, real-time summarization of social topics, and discussions around any single topic you want. We would love to work with anybody who is in the Telegram space, anybody who's building applications for Telegram, anybody who's building any product in crypto that you think might benefit from this kind of social analytics data, or any of the applications I've mentioned. So come and talk to us. We're going to be launching our Echo platform soon, but right now all the data is available. If you want to check it out, play around with it, or work with any of the projects that are already built on top of it, come and talk to us. Happy to work together, work something out. This space with Telegram social data, and layering AI on top of it has just unlimited potential. It's completely untapped. To my huge surprise, it's completely untapped. So let's do something together. Yeah, reach out.
I just wanted to hop in real quick because I'm getting really excited about what you just said. So our ultimate vision is to enable anyone with a Telegram channel to integrate a portfolio directly into their Telegram channel, so their audience can invest directly via their Telegram channel. And this just seems, with this social data and actually measuring the influence and what's being said, I think this is super interesting. So I will definitely reach out.
Awesome. Yeah, looking forward to it.
And they surely won't be the only ones. Literally, as you were speaking, on a message to someone who can toss us all into a group chat, and then we can take it from there. But yeah, Kevin, final words from you, my man.
Yeah, I mean, I urge you all to go and follow our great speakers' private social media and also the company websites. Ours is www.rwa.inc, and you can see my credentials here on X. So really go follow us, follow our Telegram groups, our X accounts, and follow all the news. And to the speakers, please also connect. Let's speak more together. Yeah.
Absolutely, 100%. And yeah, that marks the end of our Twitter space. I appreciate you all for tuning in. Thanks to all the speakers, everyone who knows me. I've been doing spaces for years, and honestly, I haven't been on a space that was this interesting in a really long time. And I don't just say that because this is like our space by any means, but I genuinely thought that this was sick, and it wouldn't be possible without these fantastic panelists. So I really, really want to thank you for coming, for sharing your thoughts, sharing some insights, sharing some things that I'm pretty sure a lot of people did not even know existed, did not even know about. So, guys, really, really appreciate you tuning in. Really appreciate the speakers here on the stage. Again, also Kevin mentioned this, but I'll double down on it one final time before we wrap it up. If you've not followed these projects yet, make sure to do so. I am more than convinced that these are some of the smartest people that are in the space. Absolutely fantastic builders. So make sure to give them a follow. Also, if you've not done it yet, head over to Crush AI. Make sure to put on the notifications. We've got some insane things in the making. There's some stuff coming up which we've not announced yet. Actually, okay, no, I'll keep that. I'll keep that a secret for now. But make sure to turn on notifications. Make sure to follow along for the ride. We've got some crazy things coming for you guys. And that marks the end of our Twitter space. Thanks again for tuning in. Really appreciate you all. All the love going out to everyone who listened in, either live or in the recording. And I will catch you guys next time.
Have a great weekend, everybody. Thanks for hosting.